Cavan Valance, welcome to An Actor Despairs. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Oh, man, it means so much. You changed my life. I'm not actually, because it ended on such bad terms, I'm not even going to drop their name, but we met at a facility, a CrossFit facility, and you were the guy that what's the term, like gravitated towards. And at the time, you were still actually instructing, but towards the end, you moved towards oversight and doing things.
Yeah.
I think you maybe only you did keep like one class, right?
Yeah, I was coaching a little bit at the end here and there, but as the business grew, I needed to take a role where I can help develop the business and be present in member services, which was my title.
Yeah.
But the reason I was there was like coaching, like doing what we did when you're on your first day.
Yeah, totally. And you mathematically helped map out what I didn't even know was called macros. And I'm going to embarrassingly insert shot of what I looked like then and now the body of Christ.
There you go. No, I love it, dude. I mean, my job is to because tell me, was it complicated? Was fitness and nutrition complicated for you at the time because you just didn't know what was happening?
No, I think just like with anything, you just got to want it and stick to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the wanting it's easy. The sticking to it is the hard part.
Yeah, but to stick to it, you need to understand where you're going.
Yeah.
There has to be some education there.
Totally.
So, when it comes to food, it's all, what I've learned along the way because, I'll tell you where I came from.
Yeah.
In a moment. But, it's all a math equation.
But we're going to build up to your new program and facility is called The Hidden Summit or Hidden?
It's called Hidden Summit.
Hidden Summit. But let's start from the beginning. You grew up on Long Island, right?
Yeah, I grew up on Long Island. I'm one of four children. I'm the oldest of four.
All male?
Nope, there's 3 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
So myself, my brother Derek, my sister Kelsey, and then my youngest brother Owen. We're all 2 years apart. Grew up in a city called Glen Cove.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it was just normal childhood. Both my parents worked. My dad worked overnights. My mom worked during the day. So, they were able to.
Overnights doing what?
So he was a director at ABC. Yeah. So he worked uptown.
ABC,
This Channel 7. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The ABC network. So what he did, he was a associate director there. So what streaming the overnight, he would take what had played earlier in the day and feed it to the West Coast. He worked on shows like Nightline. He went to PBS for a little bit. Worked with another startup, and then ended up back at ABC. He was a part of the DGA as well. So I mean,
is he still doing that?
Sadly, he passed away
sorry,
7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
About
what was his name?
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan
Valance.
I could tell you knew I was going for it.
It's all right. Most people mess up my first name, so if you get that one right, I'm okay with it.
What is it? Cavan?
Yeah, they say Cavan or Calvin. They add an L. Some people just say Kevin. I'm like, never saw it spelled like that before. But it's part of the introduction and an icebreaker.
So yeah, I'm jealous because I have a half sister, but we never speak. What was it like growing up with 4 siblings?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. Today we're best friends, which is not common with a lot of people I talk to. But we're super close. We grew apart and grew back together. I had 2 brothers, so we fought all the time.
Circle life.
Yeah. But it's all part of the process growing up. With so many good memories along the way.
And then were you doing athletics young or not really?
Oh, for sure. I played every sport. Yeah.
Wow.
So. We've soccer, baseball, football.
Wrestling?
I didn't do wrestling. No, It was during basketball season. My buddies played basketball.
What are you, 6'2"?
I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
I cannot play basketball very well.
To this day?
I can play, but I'm not going to say I play basketball.
I'm 5'10". My dream was always to be an actor, but my backup dream was to be a professional basketball player. And it's kind of funny because everyone was like, yeah, all right, cool actor. And then everyone was like, basketball player, like, it's never going to happen for you, kid. And I was like, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. And sure enough, they were right.
They're right. Went down the other way.
Yeah.
You got number one going.
Yeah.
But lacrosse was what we played growing up on Long Island. That's what I fell in love with because it had the
wow.
best of everything. You could hit people with a stick.
Yeah.
You could run fast. You could score goals, and it was awesome. And so I played. That was my main focus as other sports started to fall the wayside.
Yeah.
I was focused on lacrosse and played that through high school. And actually, I quit my senior year. I don't quit anything, but I quit because there was in my school we did a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
So like I was on the sports teams, I was in the band, I was in the plays, we were in the business club. I did everything. So word got back to me that one of the coaches at the time said something distasteful about my brother and I because we were doing like a rehearsal before a performance, and there was just a regular, scheduled game coming up, and we had communicated that we wouldn't be there. But he was like, I'm not going to go there, but he said some things that were pretty fucked up.
What's his name?
I don't even remember. I don't even remember. So I quit, and they had a pretty awful season the last year.
It's summer. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. But then, things come full circle, and we'll get back to it. But I ended up playing lacrosse again in college. But before then,
was there any foreshadowing to like the weightlifting that you're, now?
So, it's all part of the journey. Like after I graduated, I went to the Aaron Colburn School of Music at Queens College, and no, I was not prepared. Dude, like no one prepared like this.
For what instrument?
I wanted to be a music educator in vocal music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty specific.
Oh, you're a singer.
Yeah, so I've when I was in the chorale in high school, we sang Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center. We sang at the UN.
I never knew that.
Yeah, there's some things that are.
Yeah.
I got secrets.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was pretty cool, and I learned a lot in how to create then. So I feel like there's like this creative side of me because I played in bands too.
Yeah.
And like that's really
what kind, like punk bands or
like just rock bands.
Rock bands.
All different types. Like
because when I grew up, everyone wanted to be Rage Against the Machine, so we all
Right.
had like rage cover bands.
Yeah, no, we played.
I performed "Sleep Now in the Fire" at my talent show.
There we go. We got to pull that video up and put that.
I
up there.
actually 2 years ago, I had found my MySpace and I searched for my password for 2 hours to delete it so nobody could ever find it.
I tried to I couldn't even tell you what email address I had back then.
Really?
Yeah, to get into my MySpace. But there's probably if anybody wants to go find some ghosts and demons, like go find my old MySpace.
My old email was ckYskater228@yahoo.com.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Something like
But then, so talk to me, man. So in high school, you decided to do music at Queens College.
Yeah, so I went there, but no one. I was the oldest of four, so I didn't have any older siblings to ask what's college like, and I didn't know commuting to school and driving in rush hour traffic on the Long Island Expressway.
Oh, you're the oldest of all.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't ready to sit in rush hour traffic or drive around for 45 minutes to find a parking spot, to walk 2 miles to take a class that I didn't really want to go to sit around for 3 hours between classes.
Yeah.
So I found myself getting lost and focusing more on playing in my band at the time and working at the restaurant I was working at and getting money so I could buy beer and I can smoke cigarettes in parking lots with my friends. And I think I had a 0.5 GPA after the first semester.
Wow.
After graduating with honors in high school. I just royally fucked myself.
Where do you think the disillusionment happened?
I just think I didn't. So I didn't think I had anything to work towards. I wasn't excited to, and I thought it was cool to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I was just making these seemingly important decisions that didn't take me anywhere but instant, somewhere to have instant gratification.
Yeah.
In the moment, and I rode that high, and that's where I fell into a dark place.
Recovering alcoholic drug addict. I get it, man.
Yeah. So
And I only bring this up because you've been public about it. At a certain point, you kind of blew up, right?
Yeah. So over from the time I graduated to the time I was 22 years old, I went up to just under 300 pounds, a size 40-inch waist.
Wow.
And that just happened I was drinking myself like a fish, right? And I was, smoking cigarettes. I wasn't working out anymore. I was sitting on the couch watching television with my girlfriend and eating mac and cheese before I went to bed and ordering it out every other meal and eating at the restaurant and doing drugs along the way. And it was just like this compound effect of like, this is what happens to you when you don't invest in yourself and care for your body. So 22 years old, I look at myself in the mirror. I have a breakdown at Thanksgiving. The whole family's there.
Did any family members, kind of make some I don't want to say off-color comments, but
I have the most supportive family ever. Like, my family is.
So they weren't like, Cavan, you're gaining weight?
Well, I mean, they did, but
Yeah.
I was so
in that world.
Right, that I was like, you don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And like, I'm going to be fine.
I did the same thing.
So I got into an argument with my father on Thanksgiving, and it got so heated because I was so drunk that I went outside and I punched a hole through my car window.
The Honda.
The Element.
Yeah.
I told you about this,
yes,
right?
I know this story.
And I just broke down. I'll never forget what I felt like sitting there like sobbing on Thanksgiving with my family, who was amazing around me. I was embarrassed. I was depressed, and
what is usually a celebratory moment became a very dark.
Right.
Yeah.
And I needed to make a change. So whether it was God or fate or however you look at it, there was an opportunity. I'm a big opportunist. Like, taking a step back, I've learned to see the world and understand that there's opportunity in every moment. And if we can learn something from one moment by taking something away or seizing something else, we can really evolve into who we're supposed to be, or who so a little bit like I've developed a relationship with Christ, and I do believe that there's a bigger plan for me, and I've seen, as more recently in the last year, that every door is open for me that has given me an opportunity to step up to be the person I'm supposed to be, to help change this world for the better. And that first opportunity was when my sister was going to be being recruited at a school up in the Bronx to play lacrosse as their number one prospect.
Not to interrupt, sorry, but just to
Sure.
stay in the linear of the story, was that Thanksgiving night your rock bottom, would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
Wow. It's
That-
good.
that was
It's good
that-
you caught it young.
That was that pivotal point, and
Yeah.
that's what I say all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I make light of it, but
Yeah.
I'm glad I've got it out of the way early.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that didn't.
Yeah. I didn't get it till 26.
Yeah, and I feel like that moment was the moment that set me on a course, a trajectory to be where I am today. And I always say today's the first day. Today's day one. Today's the beginning. We're just getting started. So
Back to your sister.
yeah, so she was getting recruited, and then her and my father at the time bumped into the men's lacrosse coach, and my dad, being the person he is, talks to everybody. It was like, "Are you looking for guys for your team?" And he goes, "Oh, I actually am. We're trying to build the team up. It was fairly small last year. We were a new team last year. We're trying to get more people." And he was like, "Oh, my sons played lacrosse, and they're pretty good. One of them is, a little overweight, and the other one is very fit, and they'd like to, potentially come meet with you."
Yeah.
So I was all about it. That was it. I was like, I can do this. Like, I love lacrosse. Like, I remember it being some of the best times ever. But I went there to meet with the coach, with my brother and my father, and they wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So that was another moment of like, hey, you have to change and make a decision to, you can't just, you're not given everything, right? So my brother was actually going away to study abroad, so he wasn't coming in that first semester, but I said, I will do this. I will get my grades up, and I will get
You were still at Queens College.
No, at this point, I transferred to community college.
Okay.
That first semester at community college, same shit, like, just kind of coasted.
Yeah.
I did okay, but was still hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Had a lot of toxicity in my life. After that meeting, I, found a plan, went to the gym, picked up my stick, started running every day. I went from a 1.5 to a 3.5 GPA. I got all A's the next semester.
Because you were just so motivated?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had something to work for. Goals are super important.
And strategically, for those listening struggling with weight, how did you start to shed the pounds?
So back then, it was just to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what to do. I had worked out in high school,
Yeah.
right? I knew, like, I can lift weights. I could do cardio. I could play sport again. So I did a little bit of everything. I didn't have a specific plan at the time.
Yeah.
But I went in and, I did something every single day, and I worked hard when I was there. I, slowly quit smoking cigarettes. I slowly stopped drinking as much. I slowly stopped doing recreational drugs. I slowly started sleeping more.
Yeah.
I slowly started to get rid of the toxic people in my life. And those decisions are very hard. It's tough to say no when you're so comfortable.
Yeah.
When you feel like these people, even if they're not there for you, you think they're there for you.
Yeah.
And I needed to say, hey, it's me or them.
Yeah. Totally.
And I knew this was something I wanted to do, and I wanted to do it for my parents. I wanted to make them proud. I was my brother, I'm sitting there 280, 90, 95 pounds, 40-inch waist, which is large. I don't know if you've ever seen a pair of 40-inch pants.
Yeah. I won't say who, but someone in my family has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my brothers were both Abercrombie models, right? So my mom is the health enhancement director for the YMCA of Long Island at Glen Cove, where we grew up.
Wow.
My father wasn't very fit, but he was.
So was the Y where you started going?
Yeah, that's where I'd work out because it was there.
Yeah.
And, again, I was fortunate enough to have that membership because of my parents, and I just made the most of it. So a couple months go by, and then the assistant coach and one of the captains or one of the other people on the team come and meet me at a Starbucks in Glen Cove. And I remember them walking in, and I go and I wave and I say, hey, because they had the Mount St. Vincent gear on, so I knew it was them. And they didn't recognize me because I'd met one of them before, but he had a double take because I had lost so much weight. I lost almost 40 pounds in those first 4 months.
Wow.
And then he was we had a conversation. I told him what I was doing with my grades. They said, okay, we want to have you, come in and, walk onto the team. They weren't going to make cuts. It wasn't a tryout. They were such a small team. But I remember showing up on that first day of practice being nervous for the first time in a long time, right? You get butterflies. You're well, let's not mess this one up.
Yeah.
And long story short, I became captain of the team at the end of the first year. I graduated college, magna cum laude, a couple years later. So it took me 6 years to graduate college instead of the 4.
Whatever, man.
Which, I have this whole different take on school in general these days. I think it's important to learn some things along the way and organize yourself. And I did that. That's what college was to me. It wasn't this big getaway at a party school where you go to the football game. There's no big football team. We were a tiny little school.
That's why I went to NYU.
A couple hundred people. To me, it was well, this is the time to invest in yourself. I got organized. I was getting up early, going to the gym. I was eating better. I still didn't know what macros were. I knew what they were, but I didn't track my food then.
Yeah.
I still partied, still had some good times, good memories.
Yeah.
And after I graduated, I was what do I do? What do I do now? So as I was leaving, one of the trainers at the time introduced me to CrossFit. And she was try this workout. And I was this doesn't sound like a workout. There's no weights involved. And I did it, and I ate my own words, and I sat in my own sweat and laid on the floor. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
And I was this is awesome.
Yeah, high is the best.
What is this?
Yeah.
Because you're not just doing bench press and some squats and lunges.
It's a full body kinetic.
I was holy shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
So being a broke college student or college graduate, I just went to CrossFit.com at the time, where they posted a workout of the day because
Yeah, that's how they used to do it,
yeah,
right?
And I just me being me, if I didn't know how to do something, I would either look it up or I would change to go to another day that I didn't do yet.
Yeah.
And I would just go back to the YMCA, and I would do these workouts, and people would look at me like I was crazy. Because they were
oh, because nobody does that kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the old man reading the newspaper between his sets, and you have someone else is walking on the
2 miles an hour on the
yeah.
I know the why well.
So that was my introduction to CrossFit, and I did that for a long time. I dropped into a class here or there just to because the different boxes in the surrounding towns, which were 30, 40 minutes away, would have free trials because there weren't any CrossFit gyms in Glen Cove at the time. And I was doing that. I started working in retail, because that's where I can get a job. My brothers were, like I said, they were doing like the modeling thing at Abercrombie.
Wait, so did you move into the city or were you commuting?
No, I was for school.
No, for like you said retail.
So
or were you doing retail on the
yeah,
island?
so I went to the mall with my brothers one day, and I literally went up to who looked like the boss in the Hollister, and I was like, I need a job. Are you hiring? He was like, do you have a college degree? And I said, I do.
Yeah.
All right, so another opportunity.
Hollister wants a college degree?
That's one of the things. Yeah, believe it or not, like if you work for the Abercrombie and Fitch company, like you need a college degree to be in management.
Man, I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah. So it's actually one of the most organized. It was at the time. I can't speak to it now, but like in comparison to the other places that I have worked since, the technology and money that they had to organize the stores globally to keep the bandwidth the way it was, was pretty incredible at the time. So I learned a lot more organization there. I learned how to handle chaos because I don't know if you've ever worked at a retail store on Black Friday.
Yeah.
But it's
Apple Store, Fifth Avenue.
It's controlled.
Yeah.
It's controlled chaos.
Yeah.
So, was an assistant manager for a couple months. Then I got my own store. Whole new ball game when you have to when you're in charge of people.
Still on the island?
Yes, this was still out on Long Island. And then I got another opportunity from my other brother who was transferring schools to go into a business program at Mercy College, and they wanted to help build the program for their masters, the MBA program. So they said, hey, do you want to come in and we'll pay you to go here? And I said, sure. And I left Abercrombie, and one of my old managers opened up a store nearby up in Westchester, and I worked there. I went to school there. I lived with my uncle and aunt at the time with their kids. And then I interned at IBM up in East Fishkill.
And what inclined that?
I just wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
I wasn't in love. I felt like working these long hours at a small mall out in Long Island was not where I wanted to be. And
Yeah.
there's the whole world out there, and I wanted to figure out what was next. And I took an opportunity and said, let's see what happens.
At this point, were you looking for boxes?
Excuse me. I didn't even. So I was still working out on my own, doing CrossFit on my own.
Wow.
Running.
What were you down to at this point?
So after I graduated, I was like 215.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this
I'm
was like
200.
a couple years later.
Yeah. So you lost it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
And-
must have felt the self-worth from that.
Oh yeah, just like looking at myself from where I was, I don't want to say I felt unstoppable because I still felt like, you get those voices. We were talking about this earlier. You have your past. Your past is always going to haunt you. You always got some demons and dark thoughts, and from time to time I would drink too much or not make the right decision, and I was just trying to be my best self along the way for myself, and that shifted a little bit further down the line, and we'll get there in a second, where I started using the internet to show people that they can take their first steps.
Yeah.
But before I did that, my retail career continued. I ended up leaving Mercy College because they stopped the master's program, and I said, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to pay for this right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I moved back home, and I started commuting to Soho to run the men's department of a store down there.
Wow.
Yeah. And another life lesson in just like being able to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get to the gym, to work out, to go home, to get yourself situated for the day, to throw your suit on, to go on the train, to commute, and then get on the subway, and then go downtown, and then work this long shift, and then go back. Like a couple of years of that.
Yeah.
Right. But along the way, I decided, hey, I want to take the time to say, I don't want to be here, so let me save some money and go find an apartment. So I did, and I found my first apartment in Williamsburg 7 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that would be 2000. That's about
13?
when I moved. Yeah.
So had roommates for the first time.
Yeah.
Still working in Soho. and then I went to another store, ran another store, left that store, went and worked for Ralph Lauren. That was really cool. Met some amazing people there.
Yeah.
And then I realized along the way, like, I don't want to do retail anymore.
Yeah.
I love communicating with people and, the challenges of the job. But I don't get joy in selling people T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right? So somewhere in there, because the timeline is blurry, I was working in the city. I was part of a gym in Brooklyn, Absolute Power Fitness.
Oh,
yeah.
That's where I work out on. Yeah.
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 I was also a part of
Shout out Absolute Power Fitness. You guys take good care of me and Cavan.
keeping it old school.
Yeah.
I was also part of the gym by work, so I was like on hyperdrive. Right?
Yeah.
I was working out at home. If I couldn't get there in the morning, I'd work out at the gym on my lunch break or after work by my store. I even bought my first Groupon to join a CrossFit gym. I told Lindsay, my girlfriend at the time, now my fiance, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna,
Which boxers? Is that?
CrossFit East River.
Oh, that was the one in Alphabet City, right?
Yeah. So I went there. I got a Groupon, and I was there for a month, and that's where I met the owner of the gym that I worked at for the last couple of years.
Where
we met.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm opening up my own gym. Do you want to coach there?" And I was like, "I'm not certified in coaching, but I would take the opportunity to get that certification." And they said, "Sure." So I ended up getting that certification, started coaching, and then.
Did you enjoy the process of coaching?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I wanted to help people, right?
Yeah.
And I think this was like another opportunity for me to like really find out who I was. I remember going way back, I wanted to teach, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to be an educator.
Yeah.
So I like communicating. I studied communications. I graduated with a degree in communications. I like the back and forth. I don't know if I ever told you this. My degree in college was actually communications with a focus in direction. So like film. Like
wow, I didn't know that.
So that was like really cool for me.
Yeah.
Like I love that, creating perspective, understanding like how the directors would create their films and everything. And I think that's cool because that's your world.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that. So I met Jared, and he asked me to come coach, so I did. And at the same time, I was tagged in a post from a colleague at Ralph Lauren that there's this athlete search for First Form. So First Form.
I remember because I met you right before you. Spoiler, won it.
Yeah. So that was a couple years.
Can you
before.
explain to the audience what First Form is?
Sure. So First Form is a supplement company. So
Yeah.
vitamin and proteins and, everything from greens and reds to pre-workouts. And then they have, clothing now. And they are, so that's what they...
Them and On It are like the two biggest supplement companies in the U.S. at least.
I'm so out of touch with the other supplement brands because First Form has changed my life so much.
Totally.
Their core values align with my core values. Like they want to help the world one person at a time. I want to help the world one person at a time. They want to make sure that wherever you are, whatever your past is, wherever you feel like you can go, that we can get you there one decision, one step at a time, left foot, right foot, we can do this. And that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that was another like motivating factor to say I never doubted that I would ever lose. Like I was going to win.
Yeah.
Like I knew I had it in me. I knew I had the past that I walked away from, and I learned enough to be able to say, hey, I can take steps in a direction to help this world get better one person at a time.
Yeah.
Because the world's filled with people.
Yeah.
And people need me to believe in themselves to be able to be more positive and spread that positivity elsewhere.
100%.
Whether you're running or you're doing CrossFit or you're a powerlifter or you do yoga or you're a cyclist or you just, recreational, like fit mom or dad.
Yeah.
Like you have the ability to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So as that happened, now I know we're bouncing all over the place, but
No. This is quite linear.
So I was, I wanted to run a half marathon. It's like, so let me set up a goal for myself. So I started doing a running program. At the end of my first half marathon, which I was at a record pace for me, I started breaking down crying the last mile because I just thought of my dad, right? And how I couldn't help my dad at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough information. I didn't have enough, knowledge or just heart to learn to help him because he was out of shape, overweight, overworked, and depressed.
Yeah.
He didn't find joy in fitness because he couldn't understand that it would make him feel better if he just moved every day.
Totally.
So in that moment, I had decided that I was going to stop just thinking about me and start thinking about other people that I may not even know, right? So I created my brand at the time, my mantra, which was can do, push through.
Yeah.
And push stands for...
Which was your Instagram until a month ago.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you why. But push stands for progress using strength and heart.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, what can we do?
Yeah.
Mental strength, physical strength, emotional strength. We need to find that within ourselves and push through these hard times. Life's always going to throw us curveballs. We never know what's going to happen when we walk out of this door.
Yeah.
Right? But if we can look inward, be present, be still, then we can gain perspective and we can move forward.
Yeah.
So I started posting, things on Instagram. I had a couple hundred followers at the time, but I was like, if I work hard and show people that I give a shit, then maybe somebody will listen.
Yeah.
And slowly and surely they did.
Wow.
So I got a call because I entered the athlete search, and I got a call from one of the guys at First Form one day because I had emailed them. I emailed customer service, and I was like, hey, a buddy of mine says that you guys do these conference calls to get educated on the product, and I'm taking the product, and I want to help people. Yeah. And I don't know the information, so what can I do? So they called me, and they were talking to me about what you couldn't say at the time, Legionnaire program, because they're the Legion of Boom. So the Legionnaires, or the people who continue to educate. And they denied me from the Legionnaire program at first because there was a store in Queens that sold First Form. And I was like, hey, man, do you know New York has 9 million people in it, and it takes me an hour and a half to get there on public transportation, and I'm never going to go there from where I live in Brooklyn or where I work in New York City.
I didn't even know they did retail.
Well, yeah. So I'll explain more of that in a second. So they have retailers, right? So that store, Natural Body, good friends of mine now.
Yeah.
They were the first retail store in the country to hold First Form. So it was like a big, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. And at the same time, I was like, hey, I'm one guy that's got a couple hundred followers, and I want to I have, people at my gym, because there was one gym at the time, where I could help. And I work at a store in the city with thousands of people that work there, and I can help.
Yeah.
So then they invited me in, and I was part of the Legionnaire program. I won a trip out there, which was awesome to hang out.
To the headquarters?
Yeah, to hang out with the athletes and meet people and started relationships with everybody. And
this is before you won the athlete search.
So it's and athlete searchers came and went, and I didn't win.
Oh, you did it multiple times.
Right. So they kept running them. It took me 4 years to win the athlete search.
Wow.
All right. So perseverance is a big part of who I am. From where I started to where I was when I was going through the athlete search, different, hiccups along the way. And then today too. But I always thought I was going to be a part of this company somehow, some way, because we then became a retailer at the gyms, and I had a great relationship. So I was doing my own thing online. I was selling product at the gyms. I had gone out there many times. I was very friendly with everybody that worked at the office, a bunch of the athletes. One night I came home on Monday, and I was like, oh, they're going to announce the athlete search winner. Let's see what's up, to Lindsay, my fiance. And she was like, yeah, okay, we can watch it. So we're watching it. And then one of the athletes texts me in the middle of the video, and he goes, congrats, brother. And then another athlete, a friend of mine, texted me. He's like, oh, I knew it was going to be you, man. And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Lindsay, and I always say this joke, Lindsay, my fiance, how loving she is. She's like, oh, you probably got one of the brand ambassadors.
Keeping you humble.
I was like, thanks, babe. Love you too.
Yeah.
And then my name popped up on the screen.
I remember the day.
And I still don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like, I am still in awe.
I was in awe. I remember being like, because they did the whole speech and cut to you, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is fun. And they wrote you a check, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that guy. Did that just happen?
This was back in the days of the Christ hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like just cut it off, or I like shaved the sides off, so I like that Viking look with this long beard.
Totally.
Man, we go through phases.
I remember all the gay guys at the gym were all about Cavan.
I'll keep doing my thing.
Hey, you wanted to inspire people.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, however I got to get it done. Do the work, right?
So then how did that change your life?
So the way it changed my life the most was I had to hold myself to a higher standard, even more so.
I totally understand that.
Like, people I didn't know from across the country just reaching out to me, asking me for advice.
And then you went to like 1,500, 2,000 followers, right?
Yeah, so I went from like me having like 3,000 followers to me having 50+ thousand followers in, less than a year.
Wow.
Which was pretty incredible.
Considering you started at 200.
Right. Well, I started at 0.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was like the ability to be able to communicate with more people was key to focus on. Like being present, posting more, educating more, showing people that it just takes hard work and focus to be able to take one step at a time in a direction that you believe in. And that's the key, right? If you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't mean that you won't ever be able to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You just may need a community or a support system. And I wanted to be that support system for people who didn't think they had one. So that's really what
you were that for me.
And like you came into my life by happenstance, right? You never know who you're going to meet, and I never know like the interactions I'm going to have with people, how I'm going to be, what they're going through.
Yeah,
I didn't know you from a hole in the wall the first time I met you.
No,
but I treat you the same way I would treat you if I knew you for 10 years,
you're
like
great
today.
at that.
So I mean, I want to get to know people.
Once you won, did it make it tough being in this? Position of authority with this formula company to a coach back at the gym? Like, was that a tough, dual world of being, this powerful one guy, and then not saying you weren't powerful at the gym, but, having a boss and.
No, I mean, look, I'm never going to like break away from who I am.
Yeah.
Who I am on Instagram is who I am here.
Yeah.
Right? I hold myself to a high standard. I'm serious about what I do when I do it because I like to apply intensity to things. I like to see results and get people results. So whether I'm doing that online on my posts or with you in class, like I'm going to push you the same way.
Yeah.
Sure, if I have a boss. I had a boss, and we'll get to that in a second. But it doesn't, I mean, if you work for someone, right?
Yeah.
You respect what they think the job is that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And you get it done, right? And then, I mean, it's not like I'm a yes man and saying this is the best way ever. Like I have, thoughts and perspective on how businesses should be run because I have experience doing that as well.
Yeah.
So I would, push back and have conversations with people at work. And then when I was with First Form, it's really like continue to be educated, continue to represent what the core values are, and continue to be, the person that we chose.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, they kind of balanced each other out.
And then how many years did you make it at Willie B?
So I was with Willie B from the beginning. So like they would turn 5 this past July.
Wow.
And I was there from the beginning as a coach when they had one gym, and I helped grow the gyms to, we had 5 CrossFit gyms throughout Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Right before the pandemic.
Right before the
Worst
pandemic.
time to expand.
I know.
Yeah.
But hey, again,
you love
adapt and overcome and get things done. And, with that, it's cool to see how the business can grow. For me personally, like that's where there was a little bit of disconnect and discord in the sense of, maybe we can invest more in the people.
Yeah.
And to an extent we did, but I think that, and I want to see everybody succeed in that business is, like sometimes you got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run.
I couldn't agree more.
And, things were humming. Like we were having a huge year at the beginning of this year, and then
It all went to
Corona
shit.
came and said, "Hey, let's ruin everybody's party."
Yeah.
And what I did was say, like, what can I do to help keep the community alive? 'Cause
Yeah.
people are scared and people are depressed,
And you were doing all those amazing online workouts
you got to go digital.
Yeah.
You got to host classes. You got to put seminars up. You got to, communicate with people. You got to comment and like, and you got to keep that community connected as best you can. I just think the community was so big that everybody, and I love the coaches there. I absolutely do. I think they're so passionate and they care that many of the members went and followed their coaches instead of following the gym.
Yeah.
And that's to be expected, right? Like you're the same. Like
Yeah.
you went and you would ask me about working out and talk to me about working out, or go to some of the other trainers and do group workouts with them. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That shows credit to like where the connection is.
Yeah.
And for me, I wanted to hold on and keep that community alive as long as I could from a digital standpoint. Like we would do community workouts when they were allowed, when they started opening up the parks again.
Yeah.
We would, host these charity events when the riots happened and and all of that. And we, it was just, I don't know if it was enough.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not to speed
it's
the
a
negative.
very fraught time in the world, and a lot of people are very angry and upset, and some people aren't great at channeling it or understanding it. So talk to me. What we're here to talk about the beginnings, and now the launch of Hidden Summit.
Yeah. So I mean, Hidden Summit it's my baby, right?
Yeah.
It is
you and your brother, who's a former Navy SEAL.
Yeah. So my brother Derek and I started Hidden Summit about 2 years ago now, almost. And it was our thought of like, well, we want to make the world a better place our way.
Yeah.
And we grew up together and we're best friends. He is a former Navy SEAL. I have my weight loss journey. So we have a lot of experience in handling hard times.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, connect with people and train people that if you can, develop strength in your body, we can develop strength in our minds.
Yeah.
And then we can accomplish anything, right? Our hashtag is become better. Like we can become better every day just by showing up.
Totally.
And then really believing in ourselves. But being that I worked at the gyms, being that he was leaving the military and going through life changes, our schedules didn't align to the best of our ability. I was getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. He was getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. We'd have a couple clients here, a couple clients there, but it was kind of like us shooting from the hip. And I didn't love it. He didn't love it either. We butt heads a lot too, but I mean, to be expected.
Yeah.
We're brothers.
Yeah.
Let's flash forward. As this year happened and the shutdown happened and the pandemic came to be, I had more time and he had less time because he was going through the police academy to become a police officer out on Long Island in Glen Cove, where we grew up. So I began to take the reins and start to grab a couple of clients and then not really run with it until I realized, like, well, this is working.
Yeah.
So why don't we put our heads together and use your schedule, since you're graduating and you're getting into more of a rhythm, and I'm having a lot more time or I'm able to spend more time. I know, because everybody has the same amount of time.
Yeah.
We just have to play the cards that we have, and I think that we're all dealt a certain hand of cards. The good thing about this game in life is that we can all win when we learn how to play it.
Yeah.
So like not getting comfortable in our situation, which I was comfortable while I was at the gym, right? Like I had a paycheck, I had a schedule, I had people that I talked to every day, I had people that I helped every day, but it wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. And I always had this like fight within me saying like, you can go do your own thing. You can stay at the gym. You can go do your own thing. You can stay at the gym. And I was like, well, I could do both for now.
Yeah.
And then I started to, just put myself out there, get a couple of different clients, and all it takes is one.
Yeah.
because one tells another, and then one person comes, and then you can help another person and another person and another person. And I grew my client list over the last 2 months, about like 2,000%.
Wow.
From like zero up at 2,000%, in the sense of, being able to help people one-on-one, help people in a free Facebook group that I put together, help people with our digital programming tracks,
Yeah.
and help people just through Instagram.
And also doing like, the macros and yeah.
Along the way. Because I've, we didn't touch on this, but I've like educated myself on how to be able to better communicate, how to do these things so people can, like I said, not think it's so complicated.
Yeah.
My job is not to make the simple things complicated. It's to make the seemingly complex things simple.
Totally.
So I was just furloughed, right? So right now I don't have a job.
Yeah.
And all I'm focusing on is this. And it is a breath of fresh air.
What are your guys' plans, and where can the audience check you guys out?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at @hiddensummit_.
Yeah.
Or you can go to our website, hiddensummit.co. Or you can reach me on Instagram at CavanTV_. That's CAVAN TV_. Or my brother, dapper.derek.life. And then if you just want to join the movement, like, we have a great community on our Facebook group, the Hidden Summit group on Facebook, which is absolutely free. And in there you get daily workouts, so live workouts every single day. We're going to do trainer tips every week, nutrition talks every single week. We have mindset huddles every single Monday where we talk about the theme of the week, where we go over, mindset to jumpstart our week, talk about
via Zoom.
Yeah, via Zoom. So what happened last week, what's happening today, and what's our outlook to attack and conquer the week that's coming our way.
Yeah.
Being prepared for it. With that, if you're looking for a little bit more, we on Monday, which is really cool that we're doing this today, Monday, September 7th, we're launching our programming tracks.
Amazing.
On our own app. So you're going to get 4 different types of programming for $1 a day, right? You get, our competitive functional training, our body weight program, our functional bodybuilding, which is a dumbbell, kettlebell, bands program, and then a program written by my brother, who's, like I said, a former Navy SEAL, which is going to be really cool. We're calling it a lifestyle plan, but it's really what he did to get prepared for, stay in shape for, and thereafter being in the military.
Yeah.
So a lot of cool different things, while looking good too, because everybody wants to,
That's amazing, man. Final few questions for those listening that are that young Cavan, that are lost and are overweight. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I would start with having a goal. Knowing where you want to go, right? If that could just be, I need to change. It doesn't have to be very specific today, because goals change along the way. Mine was to not be a size 40-inch waist at first.
Yeah.
And that changed for me wanting to help people along the way. Me doing it for my parents at a point in time. Me making them proud. Me not being embarrassed of being with my family.
Yeah.
Me, saying that, like, if I don't know you, I want to be able to help you even if you don't know me yet. Things change.
Yeah.
But then to have a goal, you must know your why.
Yeah.
Why are you going to do this? Why is it going to make a difference?
Yeah.
Right? We have it so, even in this 2020, a year to remember or to forget, whichever way you want to look at it, we don't have to do these things. I don't have to work out every day. You don't have to work out every day, but you get to do it.
Yeah.
Right? You get to do it, because if you didn't do it, where would you be?
Yeah.
Not in a great place. Not where you want to be. So have a goal, know your why, and then just do it one choice at a time.
And I know certain states in this country people are able to use the gyms, but for those that aren't, any advice for them?
Yeah, something is always better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Your situation might change, but your ability to move isn't going to change. Like, you can do something. It's not going to be ideal. If you're used to being at the gyms with barbells and kettlebells and surrounded by people, it's not going to be that. So stop thinking it's going to be that, and do something today, because you're going to be better off doing something and staying present and not thinking about what was or what will be. All you have is today.
Yeah.
All you have is right now.
I couldn't agree more. And what's keeping you inspired, Cavan?
There's more people out there.
Yeah.
The world. I always say the world's bigger than Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people to help, Ryan. So
Last where again can the audience check out this Greek god and follow your program and sign up, as I am a literal product of his program. So one more time, can you drop the information?
Yeah, so the easiest way to get in touch with us is on Instagram. You can go to @hiddensummit_, or you can just reach out to DM me. I promise I'll shoot you a video message back. It's @Cavan, CAVANTV_. And if you just want to get the programming, head on over to hiddensummit.co and get started on Monday for $1 a day.
Amazing. Cavan, you've changed my life. I would not be, not that I'm in that great shape, but I'm in far better shape than I was. And I'm trying to get like you, man.
Well, we're gonna get you started on that programming on Monday.
and you're a true inspiration to me, and I have so much love for you and so much gratitude, and the best is yet to come.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Love you,
All
man.
right, rock and roll. Love you too. Fun.